What up, YouTube? Topaz Yates back for another album review, and this one is to that Benny the Butcher, Tana Talk 4. But before we jump into this review, first I gotta offer you context. First I gotta let you know exactly what I was thinking leading up to this project, so you know how I feel as I'm listening to this project. But if you feel as though you know everything there is to know about Benny the Butcher, feel free to fast forward to this point here. But who is Benny the Butcher? He's the pioneer and leader of the Griselda team, Buffalo rapper that this whole squad has earned their place in this industry the hard way over the years of just consistent releases. Like Benny the Butcher and the rest of them are the embodiment of how far flooding your music consistently can take you, but also they give you the visible flaws of what that whole style can do for you. See, one would believe, you know, a different title series would mean something different to an artist, and in some artists that's the case. Like look at Wiz Khalifa. When he gives you Trap Wiz, you're getting this trap rap style. When you get Rolling Papers, you're getting the commercialized rap style. But Griselda, not really. A different title for Griselda just means that it's different packaging and it's the same them. Look at it like work on the block. Usually when you get something new, it's usually the same work, just different color on the packaging. Same concept of what they've been doing for quite some time. Now as of recent, with the Burden of Proof and the plugs I met too, like Benny the Butcher has been deviating from that sample driven but lackluster percussion style that was pioneered by Griselda and the Alchemist, which is a welcome evolution, and it gives you the insight of the formula that they used in order to get to this point. See, until they reached a certain level of mass production that got them deals from Shady to Def Jam to all of these majors and stuff, they pretty much just mass produced songs that they could do with the minimum of effort that was actually getting a response from the people in the streets. But now that the major deals are coming into play, you're beginning to see them slow down just a little bit and focus more on their music to deliver the best they can at the moment. So therefore, one would like to increase the expectations, especially when you got a single that's a cut above. We went and got J. Cole for that new single, the Johnny P's Cadillac, as that song was fire. But after looking at the playlist before listening to it and seeing that the Alchemist is producing the most of it and that it's an Empire deal release, not a Def Jam release, I'm expecting the same exact thing here. And now I give you the album review of Benny the Butcher, Tana Talk 4. And as expected, it's more of the same. Disappointing because if I was absolutely sure that this was happening, I probably would have reviewed Little Durk. Even with it being more of the same, you cannot deny the fact that Benny the Butcher is one of the best at doing this particular sound. Just because your moves have become predictable doesn't mean that they're the wrong moves to make. Think back to the Queen's Gambit. Her biggest rival was washing her. And the reason is because he was playing like a machine. Every time he made a move, it was by the book. No emotion, no greatness, but yet he got the victory every time. Regardless of how little I like it, you gotta respect the format, and I still await for the moment that he fully breaks out. This just feels like another filler album to keep the momentum in the only way that he knows, to flood music. As there are a bunch of songs on this that I definitely do want to talk about that were enjoyable, like the 10 More Commandments with Diddy up on there. As what he's doing on this is adding 10 more crack commandments to the 10 crack commandments. Rest in peace, Biggie, for those of you who do remember that it was Biggie Day on the 8th, I do believe, so rest in peace to that man. We still miss you. And I gotta say, man, these new rules are pretty good. Number 20, always count the money. Number 19, never burn the plug. Why risk 6 figures for pennies? Number 18, always test the work before you buy it. 17, take care of your people. 16, stack your money. 15, only buy what can be sold. You need a plan B just in case if the drought comes. 14, lead by example. 13, no social media. 12, your respect is like your shield out here in these streets. 11, at the first chance that you get out of the game. I love the elements that he's bringing to this, as these rules are solid and they all must follows for those who are living that life. Now, I will say the production wasn't very strong, and that's what ruins the whole thing for me, but it's definitely a must listen to. Tyson versus Ali, you kind of get the inverse, where you got Conway the Machine on it. You're getting like solid production here, but yet you're not really getting anything lyrical or anything amazing to elevate this into an amazing track. Where what they're talking about on here is how people always love to pit the best against each other no matter what time period and all that stuff. Like you see this with Skip and Shannon where they always talking it's LeBron versus Jordan. Really wanted this to be good, but yet it's too rough around the edges, especially with Kanye the Machine and his whole style, where it's not off or nothing like that. I just don't feel as though he's the best selection for this type of production. Zoe's Revenge has like a different vibe from the vast majority of the Alchemist productions that you are getting on this project. The problem is, lyrically and delivery-wise, this whole track just wasn't elevated. Feels like a solid album track that just misses out on playlists because my playlist focus on just the hits. Still like maybe my second or third favorite song off of this whole project. Next track I want to talk about was Billy Joe, where what he's talking about is being careful in the drug game because you get more time for drugs than you do for murder, and you can thank Joe Biden for that. He realizes, you know, people were snitching, people ripping you off with subpar work, police is tapping phones, so he's focused more on making music and earning success instead of risking his life. Something that all people in that game need to realize, like, it's a losing game no matter how well you're doing it. Now my favorite song off of this probably would be Bust a Brick Nick, and the reason being is it's not a standout song in terms of concept, production, lyrics, but yet everything just flows well together. See, understand, when you are a master of your own craft, of your artwork, sometimes it's the songs that you don't even put in the maximum effort to try to make it unique, different, or even better than ever. Those types of songs tend to flow a lot better, and this is one of those. It's a cool track, one of the best off of this, but it's a lacking project just overall. But you know I can't finish up this review without talking about the bars. So lyrically, Benny the Butcher has been delivering the same kind of content for a very long time, to the degree that you would be foolish to think that he would go any different on this. And that's just the reality when you've heard a big selection of a person's music. Usually they never go all the way left like Kanye will go because they get into the comfort zone. And that's exactly where Benny the Butcher is lyrically, where he got certain joints on here like, yo, on my team, everybody eats, I think like a socialist. That's pretty cool because when you know of the socialism and things of that nature that you see in other countries, that means, yo, all y'all are going to do particular jobs, but everybody is going to eat. Everybody is going to struggle all at the same time if that's where we're going to go as a country. We're capitalists. Hey, if you don't put in the work, you don't eat. I also like the bar, yo, using phones is dangerous. I won't sell another brick until I learn sign language, as he used that as like the bridge going into his hooks and stuff. But that was cool. I mean, because that's just showing you, yo, how dangerous it is to be on any electronics. Hey, man, they listening to me right now because my phone is right here. Another bar that I want to say is just, you know, the typical, prototypical bars that Benny the Butcher has delivered over the time, whereas like all sporting events that don't pan out very well over time, like how he said, yo, I'm like 96 kg, I'm running with the wolves. Dope bar, but what next generation young individual like my nephews who don't even watch basketball like that, they really just play Roblox. How are they going to know who KG was? Or why would they care who KG was back in 96 when they got Steph Curry right now? Why would they even go back and research who KG was? You're dating yourself. As I said, this project was more of the same, but this was the foundation that was able to help Benny the Butcher to get to mainstream. We are not getting the next level classic material here, but solid works to keep people interested in them as they try to maintain that momentum that built them up to this point. As I said, the only way they know how to do it, which is continue to flood music. Benny the Butcher does have the potential of crafting classic albums, and maybe he's saving all the hot songs for when he actually does get that Def Jam ultimate album drop. But for this particular project, 6 out of 10, fans will love it, but the masses really won't care about it until he dropped that massively promoted project.